What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first ever Precision Drone Flight Podcast.
Amen.
I'm Steve.
I'm Stace. Welcome.
Indeed, welcome. We are excited to have you all here. Just wanted to get together, the two of us, and eventually several other people will join the conversation. We just want to talk all things drone.
Absolutely. We do the work so you don't have to. We try to take what's happening in drones, from regulations to what's new in manufacturing, new products coming out, technology. We do the homework, and then we try to break it down for you guys so you don't have to do all this research on your own.
That's right. There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there always is. This is an area of growth. It has been growing for the past several years, and it's forecasted to continue to just expand in every area of business.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, I mean, even just in the last month, the drone industry has obviously hit a bunch of big milestones and a few big roadblocks.
exactly.
So
Yeah, we can get into that.
Going to be awesome to get into. But there's one big piece of news I like to hit right out of the gate.
What's that?
Our friends over at Amazon.
Absolutely.
They happen to be testing and working on drone delivery services. And so they're testing it in many different markets. They started in Austin, Texas, was their first market. They've obviously expanded into several other markets, and one of them is Phoenix, Arizona. And it happened to be the epicenter of an Amazon Prime air delivery drone slamming into a boom on a crane.
Okay.
Yeah. So the FAA, the NTSB were obviously notified and immediately launched a probe to see what's going on. And Amazon paused operations of that, their air delivery stuff, only momentarily, and then resumed it right away. So the probe must not have found too much. But that's interesting because I think that is obviously where things are going. I mean, you see it in the FAA right now with Part 108.
Right.
And amending the rules for beyond visual line of sight and changing how that stuff operates. And so many other places are going to just continue to go to this delivery method.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you see it in lots of industries, from self-driving trucks to, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some fits and starts, but it's definitely the trend that's the way the marketplace is going in a lot of different areas.
Right.
And drones are going to be a massive part of it.
Yeah, it's always interesting too, because a lot of people think they think kind of linearly.
Line, like a line.
Yeah, like a line. Yeah, they think like a line. Like a line. Yeah. They think like a line. Because here on Earth, when you're driving, you only have so many levels. But and when you get up in the air, you can stack all those levels, and drones can be flying everywhere and delivering everything and doing so many things. Like our company in particular is looking into agricultural stuff. And that's low-level flying. Delivery is obviously going to be mid-level flying. There's going to be so many different drones in the air. That kind of leads me to, I mean, being in the FAA right now, as a drone pilot, you're like, come on, man, loosen everything up. But then they're looking so far into the future with having to anticipate all these different drones going to be in the air, and how are you going to, one, regulate that, and two, if I'm a real estate drone photographer, I'm just going to be up and over a house shooting some photos or video for a house to be sold on the market, right? Well, now my drone has to know when an Amazon delivery drone could be coming into the house next door, because I'll be flying right around it. And so how do you manage all that stuff? And as the FAA, they got to be thinking about all that. Right.
And it's so interesting, too. I mean, even 4 or 5 years ago, a drone was such an anomaly.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you're flying your drone and the neighbors are coming out to see what you're doing and asking you questions. And it still is to a certain degree, but it's just becoming so ubiquitous.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really is becoming like the Jetsons.
Yep.
You know, where you're saying the different levels.
Yep.
You're going to look up in the afternoon and you're just going to see a dozen drones operating autonomously or piloted. doing different jobs. It's just going to be such a big part of our life.
Yep.
And that really is interesting too. I was reading about, it's always been the drone is kind of the little brother of manned aircraft, which always made sense.
Yep.
But they are proposing new changes to right of way.
Oh.
With it's not necessarily where the manned aircraft has a right of way.
Interesting.
So they're talking about, and this is a proposal. This hasn't been passed, but it's something that's being discussed. Of drones up to 1,000 pounds.
Really?
That are piloted or autonomous.
Yeah.
Would have the right of way over certain aircraft.
Sure.
That are not radio. I forget the term. I'll have to. We could do a little fact check at the end, but basically, the manned aircraft is going to have give right of way to.
I wonder how that'll
a drone.
work.
Exactly.
Like, obviously, helicopters can slow down and like pause in midair, but like, I'm guessing these 1,000-pound drones are going to be fixed wing.
Exactly.
Transferring larger payloads, obviously.
Right. And we're not talking about military aircraft. We're talking about commercially piloted or autonomous drones.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, the FAA is definitely looking at what's happening in the market now and what the future is going to look like.
Yep.
And you can tell they see a future the sky's full of drones.
Right.
And we see that too.
I mean, it only makes sense with the rise of AI and everything like that that's happening. It's like, this is where most things are going.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a great time to be a part of this industry.
Yep.
It's very exciting. Things are always changing. There's always, new tech coming out, new software. And it's a very fun industry to be a part of.
Yeah, exactly. Dang, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that kind of also brings up the FAA's new move into Part 108.
Right, yeah.
And right now there's a lot going back and forth and trying to decide, is this... Like, there's a lot of argument and decision-making going on to where, how's this going to work? But it went live in the Federal Register.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's on its way to basically being normalized as you don't necessarily have to be seeing your drone and that makes, like, drones 10 years ago were using analog video transmission.
Right.
So you get too far away from it. You can't see where the drone's going or what it's doing.
Right.
Now with digital technology and how much more robust the transmission signals are and how far they can get away. I mean, there's been tests where they've sent little drones way out 5, 6, 7 miles away and haven't lost video transmissions, which is crazy.
Right.
I mean, you think 10 years ago, that was never happening. I could barely make it 200 feet in the air. And
you fly behind a tree and you lose your signal. But
yeah. So that's super interesting too, because we were always like, I understood it, but it's kind of like dumb because when I was in the real estate industry and shooting video for houses, it's like, I was going to do an orbit around a house, but I have to like try and keep it in my sight, but I don't want to be in the picture.
Right, you don't want to be in the shot.
I'm having to hide behind a tree and be like, where's my drone?
Right.
And so it's always been difficult, but this is obviously, again, seeing into the future how you're not going to be able to see every drone that's flying, especially if they're autonomous.
Right.
Like, they're just going to get their orders to go out and do their thing.
Right. And yeah, as drones move into all these different industries, all these different types of jobs.
Yep.
I mean, it's just not realistic that someone's going to have eyes on a drone all the time.
Right.
And coming from the roofing industry and inspecting a roof.
Right.
Again, it wasn't as important that, my flight was smooth and it was more important that I didn't crash.
Right.
That was kind of the focus.
Yep.
So the line of sight rules made a lot of sense.
Right.
But it wasn't always necessary. You know, you can dip down behind and
Yeah.
take a, you know, just fly straight down, take a picture, fly back up.
Yep.
You know, you're just out of sight for a moment. Don't tell anyone I said that, but
Yeah. Don't
you
tell
know,
anybody.
just momentarily. But
He
yeah,
had a
I
visual
mean,
observer just on the other side of the house.
right, exactly, yeah, in radio contact at
Yeah.
all times.
All the time.
You know, so but those rules made perfect sense,
Right.
But you can see, you know, at least they're thinking about it
Yeah.
in a forward thinking way,
Yep.
and not just reacting,
Right.
you know, to things that are already happening.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah. That's one good thing about, or one difficult thing about that is like the amount of knowledge, foresight, and different things that you have to be tapped into to be thinking about all of this stuff is just mind boggling. Like
right,
for me in drones, it's been always creating videos or being creative with something. But there's just so many other things out there, like we talked about several times before: agriculture, search and rescue, surveying, building 3D, 4D models, and different
Right.
things like that. There's so many more things now that a drone can do that it's so much further beyond just making a video or taking a photo.
right. And as these drones get bigger, they get more powerful. The
Right.
AI is, you know, more robust.
Yep.
You know, the amount of jobs that drones are going to be able to do
Right.
is just going to expand,
Yep.
expand. And you know, you think about, you know, legislators,
Yep.
or people at the FAA that need to keep up with all these changes.
Right.
You know, it's got to be the amount of information coming at them must be pretty extraordinary.
No doubt. Like that's crazy.
Right.
I mean, within so many different industries, you have different people wanting to implement this technology. And so it's not just like Amazon delivering packages is massive.
Right.
Agricultural people that live on farms wanting to use drones as like, think of all the land that is farmland. That's massive.
Right.
Like it's crazy how integrated drones are about to be
Right.
in our society.
Yeah. And didn't we say there was there 12 million acres in Minnesota?
23 million
23
acres.
million acres. 23 million acres
Of farmland.
of farmland.
Yeah.
And that's one industry
Yeah.
in one state.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, and Minnesota's, it's an agricultural state, but that's, you know, it's a big part of our economy.
Right.
But there's other states where it is their
Yeah.
economy.
Yeah. Like Nebraska.
Nebraska or Iowa.
Iowa.
you
Yep.
know, many of these other states.
Yeah. It's crazy. But then you can think about it even beyond that is like, so the northern part of our state is covered in trees. So DNR using these things to track growth of different plant life all the way through
Right.
and then also track different animal species and different things like that. It's like crazy what you can use these things for.
Right. Yeah, one of my, this isn't really related, but one of my favorite pages that I follow is about LiDAR
Oh yeah.
and just things that people find with LiDAR.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You know, they're just surveying their backyard or their field, or, you know, they'll just fly over an area, you know, and they'll find what looks like a structure.
Yep.
And a lot of these are coming from Europe, you know,
Oh,
where
sure.
there's thousands of years of history.
Right.
You know, and there's some undocumented little fort or church
Oh, that's
that,
crazy.
you know, burnt down in, you
Yeah.
know, 500 AD.
Yeah.
And it wasn't significant enough to be
Look for it,
noted,
yeah.
you know, and
Recorded in history. Yeah.
exactly, you know, nothing extraordinary happened there.
Yeah.
But it's so fascinating that, you know, someone like you or I could just go out, fly our drone, find this,
Yeah.
something that's been buried for 1,000 years,
That's crazy.
you know, and it's just fascinating.
Even LiDAR technology, like, that just seems like, or seemed to have just kind of blown up onto the scene.
Right.
Like, it used to be non existent. And then in the last 5 years, it's now on our cell phones.
Right. Well, in the amount of what they found in the Amazon jungle in Central America,
Yeah.
all these archaeological sites that no one
Even
knew was there.
Wow.
You know, they're finding with lidar, and then they're going out and excavating, and you know, it's really changing the way that area is viewed.
Yeah.
You know, so it's really fascinating stuff, and it's just
that.
one of 100 different uses for drones.
Yeah.
Again, one industry.
Yep.
You know, one little
Right.
niche.
And who even thought like archaeologists using drones for this type of
Right.
stuff is like, yeah, it's everywhere.
Right.
Drones are everywhere and can be used in so many different ways. I mean, lidar is one thing you can strap onto a drone.
Mm-hmm.
Thermal is another thing you can
Thermal
strap
is
on.
huge. Yeah.
I mean, they're using that in search and rescue and different things like that. So it's like so many ways that people aren't even necessarily thinking about when they just hear the word drone.
Right. Yeah, you and I are into this, and we could list,
yeah.
you know, many industries, but over
still
the
don't know
years, there's going to be, why didn't I ever think of that?
Yeah.
You could use a drone for that.
Right.
You know, and that's going to keep happening
Yep.
where someone is going to find a use for a drone, and it's going to totally upend an industry.
Yeah.
You know, just like the delivery.
Well, exactly. It seems like it's upending that now. I mean,
Exactly.
the self-driving vehicles is taking a lot of jobs away, and now autonomous drone flight is going to take a lot of jobs away. Like, think about the guys or the, you know, college students that get that evening job delivering stuff quick for Amazon.
Right.
You need something that you ordered that afternoon, and here comes early evening for you, right? They just run up, grab a bunch of stuff in their car, and go around and start delivering it. Well, that's going to be gone.
Right. Exactly.
Because a drone can just...
Right. Yeah, and it's been
way
interesting in the last 5 years just how, you know, in the industry I came from, the roofing industry, how drones are just taking over.
Right.
I mean, and it makes so much sense when it comes from the aspect of accuracy, of safety.
Safety's huge. Yeah.
Cost, you know,
time.
And time, yeah. And insurance companies are becoming more comfortable
with the data coming
with
from
the
it.
data,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and now it's to a point where the roofers and the insurance companies are using the same software.
Right.
You know, so it's not, you know, some of it will always be subjective, but it's going to get to a point where I was reading the other day about how at some point insurance companies are, if a storm comes through and there might be hail damage to a certain area.
Yep.
There'll be a third-party company that all of the insurance companies hire that will fly drones over the area.
Yep.
You know,
and they'll tell you whether or not you're going to.
They'll tell you before anyone's filed a claim.
Yep.
Before any contractors looked at the roof.
Yep.
Before anything's happened at all.
Yeah.
They'll be out there with their drones, and within a few days, they're going to have the entire storm swath documented.
I mean, just think about how much time and money they're going to save by doing that, because now they're not having to field several different calls from. They don't have to have so many adjusters and call people on staff to handle all this stuff, because they just send up a drone, handle the entire swath of the storm. 2 or 3 people analyze all the information, and then they tell you whether or not it's approved.
Exactly. And the whole old model of, you know, a roofer knocks on your door, inspects your roof, goes up there, takes a couple of cell phone pictures, shows you, hey, you got some damage on your roof. You know, that was always the traditional path. And, you know, it's worked for many, many years.
Yep.
But there's so much more efficiency that could be found in that system. And ultimately, it's going to help everyone.
Sure.
You know, as much as we vilify insurance companies, if they are saving money, ultimately that should be reflected in premiums.
Right.
You know, so there is a lot of cost in the insurance industry that comes from just wasted time and energy of, you know, just doing it the old way.
Yeah.
And drones are going to be a big part of, you know, changing that system.
Right.
So.
Phew. Speaking of drones.
Are we talking about drones now?
Let's talk a little bit about drones.
All right.
if you're okay with it.
That's fine.
Specifically, the one that holds the most weight in the market.
Mm-hmm.
Our friends at DJI.
They are our friends. They've been our friends for many years.
Yeah, great people, great drones.
Absolutely, the best drones.
Yeah, by far, currently the best drones. Things are looking difficult there.
Yes.
A federal court recently upheld the DoD's designation of DJI under Section 1260H, labeling it a Chinese military company. DJI pushed back, saying the ruling was misinterpreted, their structure and tech.
So what do you think?
It's difficult.
Yeah.
Because the structure of China, like, makes it a Chinese company.
Right.
Like, China owns that. And so...
Yeah, the separation between business and government is not the same in China
same at all,
as it is here.
Exactly.
Right.
So it's like, over here, me being a business versus our government, two completely separate things.
Right.
So over there, not quite as designated. So I can understand the trepidation there. But at the same time,
They make great drones.
they make really great drones.
Just let us have the drones.
And I'm wondering, what kind of information could they be getting? Like,
Right.
why does it matter if they have photos of real estate that I've taken, or they see crop, whatever? I mean, I guess, again, like the FAA and all governments, they see the bigger picture, and I don't.
Right.
So maybe there's more to it that I don't know. Obviously there is, because I don't know even a fraction of what's going on. So,
well, and it could be maybe as they are the dominant manufacturer in the United States by far.
Yep.
And as these industries grow and we become more dependent
Right.
on, a Chinese company
Yep.
to do all, because if my roofing drone isn't working, it's not really affecting much of anyone other than myself.
Right.
But as drones become more integrated into just everything.
Yeah.
If with a push of a button, again, I'm simplifying, but
Right.
they could shut down all their drones and cripple our economy.
Yep.
I could see that.
Which they were able to do with geofencing.
Exactly.
So what we had as geofencing, and a lot of people in several different industries relied on, or just became accustomed to knowing that the drone would tell me when I need to stop.
Right.
So if I'm getting too close to an airport, the geofence would stop me.
Exactly.
That's not the case anymore. And it has actually gotten people in trouble because they were relying on a geofence that DJI just shut off.
Right.
And so if you're not keeping up on the news, the updates, and all the different things like that, like you should be, but not everybody is. Things are busy, whatever.
Right.
But if you didn't know that, guess what? You don't have a geofence anymore. And all they had to do was be like, boop.
Exactly.
So
I understand that.
Yep.
I mean, it makes sense, but I just want my DJI drones. Just let me have them.
they're really good. Otherwise, either give us the DJI drones, figure out your guys' beef and a way to make it work, or the U.S. companies need to step up their game,
Right.
like big time.
Right.
Two points: DJI and the United States. The U.S. is 70% of their market, so 70% of DJI's drones and everything they make comes right here. If they lose that, it's not looking good for them. But at the same time, if we lose that, who's going to pick up the slack there?
Right.
And it's not.
And someone would at some point.
Right.
Which is great, but that, as a business owner, as someone who does this every day,
Right.
we need what we need today.
Yeah, we need them now.
Right. And one thing, some of the FAA rules are looking like they're focusing on what's called blue drones.
Okay.
So part of the problem with DJI is that it's a Chinese company that, the parts are made overseas. The software is created
Yep.
Outside of the United States. And for all the reasons we just talked about, that can be a security risk.
Right.
So some of the FAA rules are starting to favor, and when I say a blue drone, that just basically means that it's manufactured by the United States or one of our allies.
Got it.
That all the parts are sourced from the U.S. The software is created and managed
Yep.
by the U.S. or an ally. So there are rules being proposed that are going to incentivize those companies that are going to make them just easier to use and to sell in the United States.
Okay.
Which I'm in favor of, as long as the quality's there, as long
Right.
as the user friendliness, usability, whatever you want to say,
Right.
is there.
Yeah, because that's one thing too that obviously DJI has had so much time to work with its users and create a very user-friendly platform as far as the software and interaction with the drone and how easy it is to use that.
Yeah, and with third-party software producers, companies that use the DJI drone as a platform for their software. For example, Imaging, Loveland, software for roofing inspection.
Yep.
That's built off the DJI platform.
Right.
And the integration is seamless. It's a great
Yep.
drone. I mean, they have a drone for every type of situation. That's another thing too. Just the broadness of their product line, the different types of drones, from the little mini that still has a great 4K camera. It's a lot more cost effective.
Right. And it's under 250 grams, so
right.
like a mini, you don't even have to really register.
Right, exactly.
But you still can't get it.
Exactly. And then you go all the way up to the Agris, the agricultural
The
spray
T100.
drones.
Yep.
Yeah.
With 100, what is it? 100-liter payload.
Right.
Which is huge.
Right.
Props are longer than my arm.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a helicopter taking off. Like you feel it.
Exactly.
You have to watch out for the prop spray.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's just putting out that much force from the props.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. That's crazy. So the Blue List currently has 22 drone manufacturers on it.
Okay.
Of which I've heard of none.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Which is a problem. Well, I guess no. I've heard of Skydio. Only because, and the only reason I've heard of them is because I was researching for this. The Free Fly Systems. That was my first ever drone. Was a Free Fly Systems drone, because they were one of the first ones back in the day to pioneer the drone space, and they were out of Washington, I believe.
Okay.
And so that was an octocopter. Not something I would advise being your first drone. This thing was, again, as big as my wingspan. Props, huge on it. Super old technology to where today, and with DJI, you're locking on to like anywhere between 14 and 20 satellites, right? Back then, you were lucky to lightly lock on to one satellite. And it had a very primitive version of kind of keeping itself in the air, to where, you fly
So if you take your hands off the controller, it hovers?
Right.
Okay.
It was more like an FPV drone, to where you are
Constantly
fully in control of everything. To where now the DJI drones specifically are, and most drones like this are, once you let off the throttle, it just sits there and hovers. Not the case with this one. There was a switch you could flip, but it sit there and hover in place was more like a drift in a 20-foot radius.
Right.
It wasn't like this thing is locked. You're freaking out because, I mean, that the other thing too is like that thing was $15,000.
Yeah.
It's not like it was a drone I could go down and buy for $1,000. So you've got $15,000 in the air. That didn't count a camera. And so, unlike, again, today, where the camera is just this small thing mounted directly to the drone, you had to mount an actual camera. So, like a Canon back then, 5D Mark III, had to be mounted to it. And you had to wire up special things to try and get it to trigger the record and the picture taking and all that stuff. So, it's just been crazy to see where drones have come.
Right.
But we're still 5 years behind.
Right.
DJI. Like, none of these companies do what they do. Because the competition and the barrier to entry is so big. And maybe that's behind the scenes what the United States is trying to level. Is we need to get some of our own companies in here to level the playing field so that there's actually other options out there.
Right.
Who knows?
Right. And you know, competition is a good thing.
Yep.
Options
Big
is a
fan.
good thing. All of those are good things.
Right.
But again, as people that make our living
Exactly.
on a day-to-day level, you know, we can't wait 5 years
No.
to have a drone that does what we need it to do.
Yep.
You know, so, you know, I do have mixed feelings about it. I can see where they're coming from.
Right. You can see perspectives from all sides.
Right.
Like, yeah, obviously we don't know what goes on behind the scenes at DJI. We never will. But if there's a way to figure out how to make this happen around all of it, like, do they have to build a software that is only in the U.S.?
Correct.
How do we do that? How do we get to that point? Do they have to only have the drones assembled? Like, we can get all the parts from everywhere else, but they have to be assembled here in the United States.
Right.
What are the options? How do we get there? How do we make that happen so that so many different parts of the industry aren't just halted?
Right.
I mean, from what I understand is if you currently have a DJI drone come December 23rd, when...
Well, that's the deadline for the review.
Yep, deadline for the review of the United States review of DJI. Has to be done by December 23rd, 2025. Not looking good.
Right.
I
don't know what all goes into a review.
Neither do I.
But
it sounds like DJI is open and willing to have that happen.
Right.
Like, whatever that review process needs to be, it sounds like they've opened all the doors to be like, come on in, whatever you got to do. So that there's like, okay, must not be trying to hide too much.
Right.
Or they're coming to the table saying, how can we make this happen?
Right.
Which
and it sounds like the foot dragging is coming on the government side.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's like, and now it's even worse. Like,
well, the government
shut down. So, and who knows when that's going to start back up. So now you're just pushing back and then when they come back, when the government comes back, there's going to be so many other more important things that they're going to be concerned about, that this is likely, it's not looking good for this to happen. And the best thing that I could see happening, best case scenario, is they just delay it.
Yeah.
They say, all right, we said December 23rd, but we're going to move it to December 23rd of 2026.
I would hope so.
Right.
You know, and I would hope that, you know, something as important as this would be given the weight that, given the attention that it deserves.
And you would think, too, I mean, obviously Amazon's building their own drones and doing their own thing, but there's so many different industries that rely on this one company.
Right.
I mean, there's got to be a different way to get everybody up to the same playing field.
Right. Exactly. So we are optimistic.
We are.
You know,
hopeful.
We have
a lot of entrepreneurial endeavors that rely on this.
yes, and we have a lot of people connected to us that rely on DJI. But we'll be here either way.
Yep.
You know, one thing we want to bring to you guys while we're doing this podcast is other options. if DJI is no longer a possibility, for whatever your industry is, however you use drones to make money,
Yep.
we want to be able to do some of that research for you, do some of that shopping for you,
Yep.
and test it out, present it as honestly as we can, because we are out there flying drones every day,
Yep.
so we have a perspective of someone that, knows what we want our drone to do, what we need it to do, and, what that looks like on a day-to-day basis. So that's why we're here.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna start doing that more frequently and very soon. Or like you said, we're gonna be reaching out to all these different companies and being like, hey, let us put your drone through the paces and put it up against everybody else so that we know what we're working with and everybody in the industry knows what we're working with so that we can keep doing what we're doing.
Right.
We'll keep doing what we love to do.
Right.
What we've,
Yeah.
created businesses and careers around.
Right. And again, as these possibilities, I mean, the market is so huge.
Yeah. It hasn't even started.
And it's just starting to take off.
Yep.
We're just on the wave is just starting to crest.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it is going to be ubiquitous. There's going to be drones everywhere at some point.
Yep.
And those of us, those people that see that and, become part of it now.
Right.
Again, like you said, a lot of people are losing their jobs.
Yeah.
As AI and all this autonomous, all these autonomous things are happening.
Yep.
This is a space where
It's only growing.
it's growing.
Yeah.
Which is not the case for a lot of industries.
Yep.
And if we are able to find a drone that is comparable to a DJI drone,
Yep.
or and again, not every drone is great for every
Right.
application.
Yep.
But if we find a manufacturer that makes a drone that's great for this application,
Yep.
we're going to be out front shouting it from the rooftops.
Yep.
Because we know how important a tool a drone is to what we're doing.
Yep. That is exactly correct. And if you're a person that's affected by some of these things, we have a course.
We do. We have multiple courses.
Multiple courses that can help you break into different industries that use drone technology. We also have a course, Precision Drone Flight Academy, that will, one, prepare you to take the Part 107 test, pass that bad boy. But then also courses, like we said, that will help prepare you to get into any of these different industries that we've talked about even today and beyond. There are so many that we have on there, including agriculture, search and rescue, surveying, roofing,
Pest
real
control,
estate, pest
real
control.
estate.
So many different things that you could get into that require drone operators.
Correct.
You can't autonomously do a pest control spray of a warehouse yet. I don't know if that would ever happen. There's a lot to that.
Right.
It's going to require some human interaction. So they need operators for that. There's too many warehouses and not enough pilots. It's going to be
by far.
It's going to be a long time before there's an equilibrium of pilots to the work that needs to be done.
Right. Yeah. The market is so huge. It's so huge. And, before we really got into this, I had no idea how many different industries you could do with.
Oh, yeah.
How many different jobs you could do with a drone.
Yeah.
And as we've learned more and more, we've been flying drones for many years. But as we're researching these other industries, every time we get into something, we find out, oh, well, here's another thing.
Nope.
Here's another thing.
It's just exciting.
It's very exciting. And so we're always going to be adding new courses.
Yep.
The first part is obviously getting your Part 107 certification. And
soon,
once you have
and
that.
soon Part 108.
And soon Part 108. We'll have a course for that as well.
Yep. And we'll also have a course specifically for like things like agriculture. We'll have one that will kind of walk you through what it looks like to get your Part 137 and exemptions and things like that. So that you can prepare for those. All those are in these different courses. Like we have everything there to prepare you for getting into that industry, all the way down to the sales and marketing of, let's say you want to start your own company in that industry. We have everything in there to build out the business side of it as well.
Yeah. And so much of this is more than just how do you fly a drone or how do you work the software. It is how to market yourself, how to build the relationships, how to grow your business and manage your business in a way that's going to make you successful. Because you can be a successful one-man operation. You could do, say just roof spraying, and you could make a nice 6-figure income, and have a nice business.
But you're going to have a lot of competition.
Exactly.
So if you could start a company that you just bring people in underneath you and build it up that way,
huge.
That'd be big for you.
Right. And we're always going to be introducing more classes as we learn more, as new products come out that are going to have new capabilities that we haven't even imagined yet.
Right.
We're going to be on top of it. We're going to, be in contact with the manufacturer. We're going to learn about it. And we're going to break it down into a very digestible, learnable. I sounded really smart.
I like it.
Learnable?
Yeah.
Is that
It is now.
Something that breaks it down and makes it
easy to digest.
And once you have that part 107, all of these doors open. So say your primary interest is in, filming. Well, great. We'll talk about that. Well, now you have these other possibilities.
Right.
That, okay, I want to do filming, but I'm also going to do a little roof inspecting on the side.
Yeah.
Or, I'm going to do some surveying, which surveying is huge. I definitely think you should check out our course on it. It's very lucrative. There's construction progress video.
Yeah, you could be making 3D models of a building going up as it's being built, and the drone you can program the thing to just continue to get all of it all the way around to where somebody brings it into their software, and boom, they can look at the whole project, spin around the entire building, look inside all that stuff, just to see where the progress is at it. That's going to be huge for construction timetable management and stuff like that.
It's huge. And just imagine how thrilled those project managers are going to be.
Right.
With something like that.
They don't have to go out to the site several times a week, because all you have to do is, and you can do that for so many different construction projects. It's not just one company. It's like you integrate yourself with several different commercial construction companies to where you're just bouncing around all day long, getting these massive 3D models for them so that they can see the progress.
Right.
However often they want. I mean,
right.
Could be every 2 days. It could be every week. Could be every month. Who knows?
Right. And it's a great reoccurring business.
Yep.
It's going to be, reoccurring time after time after time. And we can talk about how to find that kind of work, how to market yourself, and, best practices when it comes to, what's important to those construction managers, those project managers. What do they care about? Because that's really what is important, and that's what's going to keep you.
That's your client.
As your client, that's what's going to get you more business. That's going to grow your business. It's very exciting.
Super exciting. And with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up.
Let's do it.
The first ever Precision Drone Flight Podcast. If you wouldn't mind taking a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel, it helps this get out to more people that could be very interested in the drone industry and all the different things that you can do in it. Again, we will be bringing this to you very often. Planning to have videos like this out every week or every 2 weeks, something like that, as different things are happening. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. We're just getting started. And like we said, the industry is just getting started. So
right. There's so much to talk about.
Yep.
And we're gonna be bringing it to you. We're gonna be gathering this information, and condensing it just for you.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to grow this thing together.
That's right.
I'm excited.
So, see you on the next video. Peace out. Boom! Brother, oh, nothing was recording.
Oh, man.